This edition of Supporting Cast is brought to you by Grant Thornton, the official accounting services partner of the Tony Awards. We're shining the spotlight on the supporting cast whose unrelenting passion and talent make the momentous performances of the 2018 nominees possible.
I'm the house properties supervisor at the American Airlines Theater, and I make sure that all the props are set for the shows that we have over there, and just kind of maintaining the show. Well, I started off, I wanted to be an actor and had moved back to New York, and things weren't quite working out, so I decided I wanted to be backstage, so I decided to go through the apprenticeship program with IATSE Local Number 1, and got my card and did some bouncing around and got a job at Roundabout, and got a spot on a show where I had to do props for the show, and it was intimate apparel. Did that and just kind of worked my way up. I started at the Laura Pell's Theater, and I was there for 5.5 years, and then moved over to the American Airlines Theater in 2009, and I've been over there where now I'm the head props. And the first show I did over there was After Miss Julie. And the funny thing is I have actually ended up spending more time on stage being backstage. I've usually end up playing the stagehand. I've done that a couple of times. Did it in Real Thing, McReal, and in Mosh and All I was actually one of the subway riders in the show. So there's been a few that we've done, and it's fun. It's not the way I envisioned to be on stage, but you never know how things are gonna pan out. Prior to Travesties, I was doing Stories by Heart with John Lithgow, where I just had a chair, a book, and a glass of water that I had to set for him. That has since changed, and now we have multiple props, multiple chairs, multiple tables. We have lots of paper. There's paper everywhere, books everywhere. We have probably about 2,500 to 3,000 books alone that are on the set, and that's not even props, that's just set dressing. Typical day, there's myself and one other person on my crew, an apprentice, who we work on setting the props for the show. One of the things that we have to do is there's a paper drop in the show that I have to load up, and then after that, while the other crew member is setting up some of the stuff on stage, I'm downstairs making sandwiches for the show, because there's cucumber sandwiches that and cheese sandwiches that get thrown across the stage every night. So one of the things I do during rehearsal is, especially on a show like this where there's food involved, you have to find out if there's any allergies that any of the actors have, what their preferences are, and on this particular one, they have a tray that everything is served on. So I had to work with Tom and Patrick and get everything set onto the tray into a way that when Patrick would come and he would set the stuff down onto the table, it was easy for him to grab without knocking over the glasses, so that meant having to make sure that the champagne glasses were filled to the right level, so if it was too high it would be too top heavy, they would fall over. So we actually had to weight the bottom of the champagne glasses so that it would help that, so that they weren't so top heavy they would fall over, and then just making sure that you have the right size plate to have the sandwiches placed onto, because you want to have it look realistic. You don't want to have it too big, too small, and then having to fit the tea set on there as well, and filled with, on this particular one, tea that the actors preferred to drink, and at the right temperature. And so it's a matter of setting it all at the right time, when you have to make it. It's a lot of figuring out timing and spacing.
There is a revolution in Russia, sir.
Really? What sort of revolution?
A social revolution, sir.
A social revolution? Unaccompanied women smoking at the opera, that sort of thing.
We usually work with the directors during tech. It's a matter of them getting the look that they want, and they'll let us know, or they'll let stage management know, and we'll communicate through them. And it's just I want to have this piece set over here on stage left versus having it set over on stage right. And sometimes during the rehearsal process that'll swap based on any blocking that gets changed. Also, sometimes they'll add props and something that was perfect all the way through rehearsal and all the way through tech. As you get into the preview process, where there's still time to change, that thing that was perfect the whole entire time now doesn't work, and you have to get something else that will be perfect for the rest of the time. I'd say it's mostly how everything's different every show, how there's different challenges that you have, in particular because we generally do short runs, usually 3 months long, so you always know that something's going to change. So there's the challenge that you have in the process of setting up the show and trying to figure out what's best going to make it work, and knowing that it's always going to be different, even though you may still have the same moves where it's you're setting a prop, or you're doing handoff, or you're doing a receive to an actor. It's always different, and you're always trying to figure out what's going to make things work. And it's that. It's also when you have people come backstage after a show who aren't in the business, and you're giving them, I'll give tours. It'll be one of the things where, for me, I see a table full of props that it's just something that the actor comes, picks up, goes out on stage, uses it for a few minutes, and then comes back, puts it back onto the table, and that's it. It's an inanimate object. But you have somebody who's not in the business, they come up and they see that piece, and and they look at it and they're like, oh my God, did Cynthia touch that? I'm like, oh my God, is that the book that John Lithgow picked up? So for them, it's a magical thing to be able to see that. So that's the part that I really like.
Literature must become a part of the common cause of the proletariat.
That's my point! There was nothing wrong with Lenin except his politics.
Mr. Dooley, Mr. Dooley, the wisest flag our country ever knew.
I've only one request to make of you.
And I've only one request to make of you. Why, for God's sake, cannot you contrive just once to wear the jacket that is suggested by your trousers? It'll all come out in the wash. That's the art of it.